Hello and welcome to round 7 at the Baku Grand Prix for F2. Should be a thrilling one today. A lot of corners that are slow encountering and very much so close on the contact. I am your commentator Liam here today. Unfortunately, yet again, Jody is not available for commentary. Hopefully next week we'll have him, but for today you'll have to make do with me yet again. So as we're about ready for qualifying to go underway, as we just wait for one last driver to join, and then we will be on our way for qualifying. We've reached the time. Drivers getting now impatient, and as they all start readying up. Looks like we will not be waiting for that last driver. We'll be just going straight into it.
No.
Yes, as I say, it will be a thrilling one today. Short track, very narrow, a lot of cars trying to pace themselves through the first few corners. It could be a fun one. Maybe a lot of wing change going on here. Well, more than you will expect on most other tracks apart from probably Monaco. As we wait for the first driver to exit the pits for the lap. I've been informed that it will be a dry race, so it just adds to the thrills and spills into the first corner when they set off for the race. But for now, qualifying, and V2 is the first one out, so we will ride on board with V2 for his outlap and lap. He will be trying to get these tyres warmed up as he makes his way around Baku. Quite a tricky turn in that one. V2 actually moves over, maybe allowing other drivers to get past him for some reason. Please hang on a sec. So, as he comes down the main straight to the start finish line, to start his lap, we'll stay on board with him, see how well he does. Looks like he has an invalid lap, unfortunately, for his first time. Looks like Javier will be taking over on his lap. We'll ride on board with him. Fairly clean. Very clean through the castle section and coming through these other corners. This could be a very good lap indeed to kick the qualifying session off. Javier setting the standards. With a 1:38.0. It's a very solid lap indeed. Now as we go to the helis to see what other laps there will be. Couple of 1:39.8s. See Todd Bob on his lap. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he will be fast enough to beat Javier with a 1:38.0 as he comes down the last straight. DRS open. And across the line will go second with a 1:38.2. Still very fast, but just not enough there to beat Javier for the top spot as of yet. So we have both racing points, 2 and 3. It's easy to make a mistake around this track. One wrong turn of the car and you could end up in a wall, which is not what you want. So we now see a few other cars coming out for their out lap. Pace, GN and Wishton. GN now starting his lap. And just in the background I think that was Pace. Oh no, it looks like he has moved over and let someone else by. Never mind. All eyes may be on Max to see what he does around this track. He has proved himself on other tracks. Maybe he can do the same here today. Try and prove himself to be one of the fastest drivers around, well, most of these tracks that we have been on so far. Hopefully trying to put himself at the top of the leaderboard and prove his point. But it looks like Max is coming down the main straight to the start finish to finish off his lap. We'll see what time he will be as he comes across the finish line now. Puts himself first with a 137.5, sorry. It's very fast. And then GN, as he comes down the main straight to start finish and passes the line, goes fourth fastest with a 139.3. So yet again, Max proving that he is strong around every track that he touches. It is very early on in the session still, so there could be a few spills, but for now, looking like Max will be the leader of the pack once again. Quite a bit of traffic for Lamar to get through on his lap. Everyone being as clean as possible, getting out of people's way. He could possibly get slipstreamed down these straights as well. Looking like the Renault might compromise him here. He gets out of the way as fast as he can though. As we see Lamar now coming through the last couple of bends and down onto the start finish straight to finish his lap. Where will he put him from P15? Can he go better than P10? We'll find out. Yes, goes P5, 138.7. That is not too bad for the Williams. Looks like Christoph is stopped on track for some reason. Waiting for now everyone else to finish their lap times. Still Wustin and one of the Ferrari drivers to yet stick a lap time in there. Quite a few slow lap times from P13 to 16, but maybe they will be trying to improve on that. That take down the start finish. Goes past the finish line now. Up into 6th with a 138.8. We'll ride on board with Horseman as he goes for the start of his lap. Opening the first corner up very wide, slowing the car down. Doesn't look like he's going for it. Oh. Weird. Looks like he's gone into 10th place for a 1:39.2. Even though it said he was on his outlap. Never mind. Just waiting for Wuston and the Ferrari driver to set their lap times. They are now on their outlap. Kyle coming through the last few bends. Oof, nearly clips that. Oh, nearly clips O-top. It's very dangerous there to be slowing down. Maybe he could have gone a bit further on. But now as he comes across the line goes up into P12. We're now right on board with Wuston as he goes for his lap. We were looking for a top 10 placement in this. We also have the Ferrari driver also going for his lap as well, so we'll keep a close eye on him as well. You've just seen the Ferrari in the background there. It's a very tricky section of the track, going through that castle section. Max improving his lap time with a 1:37.4. Really making sure that nobody can get the tabs on first place. Wuston now coming around the last few remaining bends and works his way down onto the start finish. The RS Open. Where will he be placed? From 19th on the grid up into 8th with a 1:39.1, and the Ferrari doesn't complete the lap time and goes back into the pits. He doesn't have a lot of time now to get that lap in because it is 2 minutes and 36 to go. So if he wants to set that lap time, he will have to do it very soon. Still got 3 minutes left. F1 Ferrari on his outlap. We're right on board with him. As he now comes around down the start finish to start his lap time, maybe improve on his lap time. It is very solid on the top 3. Through there cleanly. Now through the second. Yep, keeps it nice and clean through there as well. Opening the car, throttle open very early on there. Short shifting, making sure he doesn't get any wheel spin out of any of these corners as well. Tricky part of the circuit. Still cleanly making it through. Making his way around the final few bends onto the straight. Now opening that DRS as early as possible. He does improve on his lap time, making himself in third place, sticking in that as well. Javier will be trying to improve, make himself top 3 if he can. He does have a bit of traffic in front of him, probably will be slowing him down, unfortunately for him. Now as he catches up to the pack and gets around a few cars, if he can, as quick as possible, because he will be picking up dirty air, but he will also have a slipstream from the Ferrari down the main straight as well. This will improve his lap time. Working his way, DRS open, the Ferrari leading him towards that finish line as he makes his way up into third place, improving his lap time. Now brings himself to a 1:37.8. So we will ride now on board with one of the Ferraris, even though it says they're finished. Just right soon to go. Going very slow though, so he will not be going for a lap time. So now as we wait for the last car to finish qualifying and then move on into the race, please stick around. So that will be the grid for the opening of the race, which will be underway in a few moments' time. There will be a formation lap to start off with though, but with how you look at it now, that is the starting grid.
Down. Medium to hard.
So now as we wait for all drivers to connect and the lights to go out for the formation laps, as Max will be leading the pack out for that. Just waiting for this now. There we go, lights out, and Max is underway for the formation lap. Every driver trying to warm the tyres up and the brakes. It's quite a difficult track this, very narrow. Very few places to overtake as well. There is the straights of course, but they do come to a very solid stop at the end with a quite sharp turn. Most of the corners will be taken in either gear 2 or 3, maybe even gear 1 at points. Max may want to slow down if he wants to keep the heat in his tyres. Most of the other pack has backed off, so they could get an advantage on the front runners. As when they line up, their tyres will start to go cold. A massive gap between P10 and 11 as Horseman backs up the pack. Max now starting to back him up, hopefully allowing the other drivers to catch up and making sure that he doesn't lose as much heat as he wants to be in them tyres for the start of this race. Two drivers are on the starting line already. I'm not sure what happened there. But as now all cars line up for the five red lights. For the Baku round 7. Here we go, 5 red lights now. And it's lights out, and away we go. Hold on. Right, there we go. Now it's lights out and away we go. Javier having a jump start, so he probably will have a thing. Oh, it looks like there has been a crash at the back. Coming through the first corner. F1 Ferrari with quite a bit of damage. And as well as, whoa, a big pile up into the second corner. Christoph with a 5-second time penalty already for cutting the corners. Like I say, there will be a lot of wings being replaced in this race today. Javier probably will be looking at a stop and go for jumping the start. But as we read down, Max in second now. Quite a few wings will have to be replaced because of that earlier crash. As now as they all make their way through the castle section. Ottep with no wing at all. So he will have to go back to the pits and obviously get that replaced. Unless he does that and crashes out. I don't know why he would try to go fast around corners without no wing, because he will not have any downforce to be able to push him around the corners. But and now Otto out of the race on the very first lap. Now as all the drivers head down towards the start finish and probably make their way into the pits so they can get them wings changed. Flying into the second lap here. There's been no more incidents so far. F1 Ferrari so close to the back of the Renault. Maybe trying to get a look down the inside of this next corner. Doesn't, stays behind. Hercules closing in on GN. As they make their way through Castle section. Goes a bit wide there. Doesn't hit the wall though, keeps it clean. Closing, will he be looking to go down the outside? No, stays behind for the remainder of this lap. Maybe trying to look for it down the main straight as they work their way around there now. Both Ferrari has switched positions. Top Bob with the fastest lap. Javier now coming through the pit lane because of that jump start. As he works his way. Oh, and there has been a crash. Christoph is out. Javier having to make a quick move around the Toro Rosso driver as he collops the wall and has crashed out. Quick moves there from Javier. Hercules still closing on Natic. Oh no. GN has made his way up a position or two. Hercules now trying to close up to his teammate. Kyle in 9th place trying to work his way up the pack, trying to catch his teammate Javier. Hercules ever so close now to the back of his teammate. Will he be trying to get this move done? Javier as well in on this battle for 6th place. No contact made there, clean through these corners. Javier so close to the back of Hercules, but also Hercules so close to the back of his teammate. Will he be trying to make this move happen down the straight? As now Hercules closes in on his teammate, goes to the outside and passes him. Javier as well passes his teammate and looks for a move on Hercules. Hercules closing the gap. No contact made. Javier stays behind the Haas. As now Hercules will be finding himself behind the back of GN once again. It looks to be a switch for both Natic and Lamar. Javier closing, putting Hercules under pressure. Hercules looks to the inside but doesn't take it. Hercules now putting pressure on the GN. Coming through this section of the track. Then works their way down to the straight once again. Maybe trying to make a move happen on GN as well as he did on his teammate. But Hercules now round the outside, makes contact with GN, and Hercules comes off on the worst side ever and has had to retire from the session. Kyle under pressure from one of the Ferrari drivers as he sails past down the straight. Hercules contact with GN, allowing Javier to pass GN as well with that contact. Unfortunate for Hercules, as he was going to make a move on GN down the straight, but he may have gone a bit too early. There was room to go there, but GN closing the gap, obviously trying to defend his position, and closed it a bit too much, made contact and sent him into the wall. And now a VSC has been deployed for that crash as well. As now the race is back underway, green flags. Javier getting away as fast as he can from GN. Obviously trying to make that gap close to the 4th position. As you can see, Javier just in the background of pace. Natic close to the back of Lamar. Maybe we're trying to get this move done down on the straight as well. Hopefully not do what his teammate did and try and go for it earlier, because it may end up with that he will be in the wall as well. Hopefully not though, as they make their way down the straight now. Probably will be getting DRS down this straight to help him close the gap as well. Doesn't look like it though. Oh yes, now it's open. As they make their way through the first corner. That gap getting ever so smaller. Still not being able to make the move. Both drivers trying to be as clean as possible, not make any contact with the wall, try and get around the track, and also catch the driver in front. But obviously Natic trying to put pressure on Lamar, make him do mistakes. But Lamar will not be having any of it. As they both come through Castle. Natic's so close to the back of him, almost touching the back of his gearbox. Super clean through there. It looks like there has been a switch at the top. GN being overtaken by Brittle. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Max probably has made his pit and is now in 3rd place. Top Bob and Javier also making pit stops. Top Bob making his way out of the pits in 5th place, and also Javier, he loses 1 position, but he probably will get that back, but he will have a 5-second time penalty for crossing the pit lane exit white line, as you saw. Now DRS open, working his way to V2. trying to make the overtake. Max also closing in on a GN. As Max has shown us time and again, he is capable of making overtakes, and he is pretty fast around all tracks that we put him on. So now making his way to the DRS assisted straight as well as the start finish, coming round the final remaining bends. Max goes for the overtake on GN and does get it. GN slots him back behind Max as he now makes a gap if he can and catches up to the Ferrari ahead of him. Javier also very close to that Red Bull. Will he be able to get the move done down this next DRS assisted straight right now? DRS open, closing the gap. Red Bull going defensive as they both come around the corner very cleanly. No contact made from either driver. It's a very good driving between these two. Also, Wooston ever so close to the back of F1 Ferrari. So he will be looking to make that position up as well, trying to get in the points. So he will be trying to overtake both F1 Ferrari and Pace. But Pace is quite faster on this track as well as Max. Wooston losing a few tenths through a couple of corners there. He's now 7 tenths behind the driver, now 1.1. If he wants to make the overtake, he will have to up his game and get a move on. Javier also losing a few tenths to the driver in front. But he will be in the DRS zone, closing in on him. Yet again down the start finish straight. Can he get the job done? Still no. Stays behind the back of the Red Bull for yet another lap as he comes up to the second DRS straight. This time so close as he now pulls out from the behind the back of the Red Bull. As they both make contact, and Javier here taps the wall. I don't think there was any damage there. It doesn't look to be like, but they did make contact. Wooston still not being able to overtake the F1 Ferrari, but it looks to me like GM may have made a pit stop and also come between both the F1 Ferrari and Wooston as well. So now entering this battle, GN also trying to make positions up from what he has lost. Up 15 positions from the start of the race. This Ferrari right here is doing super well around the track. Probably hasn't made a pit stop yet. We'll find out now. It doesn't look to me like he has. No stops. So you probably will have to make a stop. Max will go back into the lead then as he closes the gap. No, I'm fine. Kyle closing in on Top Bob for third place. Looks to me like there's been a swap. Oh. Both Williams in the pits. And it will be a hold up for Woosten, which he will not be advised to do, unfortunately. Looks to me like he's having a nose change. We'll stick on board with him, see what tyres he goes on. It looks to me like he's going on the hards. Loses a few positions as he makes his way out of the pits and in front of the other Renault. GN up into 10th place. Closing in on F1 Ferrari. Pace is also just a little bit further up the track than these two drivers. He will be trying to get away, but also F1 Ferrari and GM will be trying to close in on that as well. You may see that later on in the race. Now the Ferrari has come in for the pit stop, as now Max, Top Bob and Kyle make their way through. Javier and the Red Bull. Javier looks to be past the Red Bull now. He's finally made that overtake done, but he will be trying to come back at him, trying to get that position back. So most people now have made a stop. The only person who hasn't made a stop yet is Kyle, so he will have to come in very shortly for his pit stop, which will probably be onto the hards as well. Taps the wall there. But looks to me like everyone has made a pit stop apart from this driver here. Javier closing in on his teammate. I'm not sure what they will do there, whether Kyle will let Javier past, as he is on the fresher set of hards. He is on the fresher tyre, and he is closing in fast as Kyle goes wide. Javier closing in on his teammate. It's a lovely camera angle here from the helicopter as they make their way down the straight. DRS assisted, teammate pulls out. Kyle comes into the pits for his stop. A wise move there for him, allowing his team also to go up into third place. Nisu has spun and tapped the exit of the pit lane. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe lost traction of the traction and maybe put a bit too much power on. But unfortunately for him, he has lost another position to Natic, or probably the Ferrari as well. Unfortunately, he's lost 2 positions. GN closing in on F1 Ferrari now. Kyle in the background as well, who will be trying to get in that action as well for 8th position. Woosten in the pits again for another nose change. It's not been a very good day for the Williams driver. GN closing under 3 tenths, 2 tenths, very close in on F1 Ferrari now as he pulls out and makes the overtake down the straight. Goes past the start finish now. F1 Ferrari has pitted as well, so Kyle will be gifted a position. Not sure on why he has pitted. Oh, it looks to me like he's pitted for some hards. Maybe he's made a second stop. Going wide on the exit of the pit lane. Doesn't pick up any penalty though for it. As now F1 Ferrari has lost 3 positions. Most of the drivers are spaced out now. The only really close ones are F1 Ferrari and Horseman. Max making a getaway of 10.2 seconds. Awfully fast around this track. Top Bob also making a getaway from Javier, who is 3.8 seconds behind him. So the top 3 probably will be finishing like this, as you see it. But there is quite a few more laps to go in the Baku race. Now F1 Ferrari closing in on Hossman. Can he get the job done down the DRS assisted straight? We'll find out shortly as he closes in fast. DRS open. Working his way into the first corner, pulls out. Can he get the job done? As they both come through the first corner. Battling wheel to wheel, but yes, F1 Ferrari does get that position done cleanly. A lovely overtake there for him. Horseman will be trying to battle back for that, obviously. Not making a move, which is smart, because he wasn't close enough. Losing a few tenths through these other corners, unfortunately for him. Now moving out of DRS range, as F1 Ferrari pulls a gap on him. Top Bob's also closing in on Max. Rathun and Drunk is in the pits. As they work their way out of the pits now. Stay in front of Scuff and Wishton. Scuff is ghosted, so he probably would have disconnected from the lobby for some reason. Now looks like Drunk wants to unlap himself maybe, as he is close to Top Bob. But then again, Top Bob is opening a gap to him. There are blue flags flashing around the track. Obviously because Javier is catching up to Drunk as well. Hopefully no contact between them, messing up Javier's race. Hopefully he just lets him pass without any problem. But we have yet to see. As he is a bit further up than him. As you can see, Javier just in the background there. All the cars spread out now, and they are all out of DRS range. It is a very tricky track to get around as fast as you can because of the tight right angles, the slow corners obviously eating at your tyres as you try to accelerate out of them. But all of these drivers are making very good times in Baku, even though it is a closed circuit. I thought there would have been more wing changes, to be honest, but clearly these drivers are good at what they do. Horseman, under the closing in on Lamar. So you may be getting a retirement from Wooston. I wonder why. Unfortunately, I can't see. I'm not sure on where he crashed. In Sector 2 it says, but I can't see where at this point in time. We'll stay on board with Max, maybe we can see it. No, I'm not sure how he crashed, but he has left the session now. Horseman pits. Makes his way out of the pits now. Crosses the line, unfortunately picks up a 5-second time penalty for that. Not really many people close enough to make an overtake, so it's fairly boring, to be honest. The Red Bull coming down the main straight on Natic as he comes into the pits. Maybe for a nose change, we'll find out. No, it's just a tyre change. GN and Sev also picking up them positions for Natic pitting. Maybe Kyle can as well. Doesn't look like he will though, as Natic pulls out of the pits and goes into the second corner. Kyle stays behind Natic. Green flags are being waved. Drunken is also out of this race as well. Kyle picks up a 3-second time penalty. Looks like he crashed out about where Skull has just gone past. Max picks up the fastest lap once again with a 1:42. This Ferrari picking up 12 positions off the start. He has done well around this track to do that many overtakes. Vishu also picking up 2 positions. GN picking up 5 positions, but Pace losing out on 1 position. Kyle picks up 4 positions, and Natic stays where he were at the start of the race. F1 Ferrari drops 6 positions, unfortunately for him, as well as Lamar. He also drops 5 positions. Horseman losing 1. Rathun goes up 2 positions, and Skull, who is ghosted, unfortunately, picks up 5 positions, as he did start last. But maybe how you look at it now, that's probably how it will finish. Unless anyone does either crash or make a mistake. Closest 2 people right now are Pace and GN, so we will be looking on board with these 2 drivers as GN closes in on Pace, trying to put the pressure on him. GN closing a gap. It was 1.5, now it's 1.3. Closing the gap ever so slightly. Yet again, Natic picking up the fastest lap with a 1:41.3. As you can see, Natic in the background there, also trying to make the positions up, because he is in a neutral state where he has stayed in the position where he has started. GN now under a second, which puts him in DRS range. So when he gets into DRS zone, he will be able to get the DRS to assist him with the overtake if he does choose to do that move. Hopefully he does. Coming through Castle. Bit of a tail spin there. Nothing too major though, but losing a few tenths, which puts him out of DRS range now. Can he close the gap yet again? Gets a tank slapper out of that corner. Doesn't look like he can close the gap. Pace opening a gap yet again on GN. But also Natic closing the gap on GN as well. Closing in on this battle, both at 1.3 seconds. Natic closing the gap to GN. Can he get the overtake done and make up the 1 position that he probably wants? It's ever so close between these 3 drivers now. Natic in the DRS range, does open the DRS, so he will be able to close in as fast as he can down this next straight. He closes, but just not enough for an overtake there. GN also closing his gap to Sev once again. Javier as well, closing up to Top Bob. Javier trying to look to get into 2nd place. He will still be on a podium, obviously, but he wants to get that 2nd place. Natic now 5 tenths behind GN. Closing that gap, putting GN under pressure. Can he get The overtake done though. Jarvier and Todd Bob switching positions as Todd Bob does come into the pits. Probably will be looking to put them softs on and make the fastest lap. Todd Bob also losing out to a Ferrari as well. Also the Red Bull. Stays in 5th position as he comes out of the pit, so Sev will be trying to put the pressure on Todd Bob as well, but Todd Bob does have now a fresh set of softs to go to the end to. Natic closing his gap once again. Oh look, looks like Natic and GN have switched positions as well. I'm sorry, I didn't capture that. So Natic now trying to catch up to pace and overtake him. Both drivers within DRS range as well. Can GN stay with them though? Because he's now losing time. Unfortunately for GN, he is now out of the DRS range. Also trying to catch up, but Natic pushing on, putting the pressure on pace. As we come into the final remaining laps, only 3 laps to go. Natic trying to get this position. He's already got one, trying to get another one. DRS open, makes his way down to start finish. Pace not allowing him to overtake yet. Natic ever so closer now to the back of that gearbox. Todd Bob in the front there with no wing, unfortunately. Todd Bob will have to pit once again for another wing. I'm not sure what happened there, but he has no wing at all, so he will have no downforce and go straight on. Loses 2 positions, probably 3 positions, yes, loses 3 positions. Unfortunately for Todd Bob, it's devastating for the Racing Point, because he was in a podium position before he pitted. Obviously he was trying to push for the fastest lap maybe, but has ended up collapsing a wall, and now Raifoon and Lamar have ended up DNFing as well. Todd Bob also retires from the race. What is going on? The final remaining laps, only 2 left to go, and 3 drivers now out of this race. Horseman will be looking in the top 10, so he will be getting a point. All he has to do is just bring that Red Bull home, and he will have a point at the end of this race. Unfortunately for Skull, he is just out of the points, but he will pick up 11th position. Or maybe not, because he has been lapped quite a bit. Natic now closing in on pace as well, and as well as F1 Ferrari closing in on Kyle. Looks to make a move but doesn't, stays behind. Max with a 5-second time penalty now. Closing in on a Ferrari with no wing now as well. Unfortunately for him, he has had a decent race around here, picking up many positions, but now he has no wing, which allows the Red Bull to just go past very easily. and makes that position up, which will put him on a podium. Natic closing in on him. Pace very much under pressure now from Natic. But can Natic get the job done? He only has this and the next lap to do so. So he will be trying to push on, trying to make that move happen. Also, F1 Ferrari getting ever so closer to the back of Kyle as well, as Natic now pulls out and just sails on past Pace. Pace not making it easy for him, no, but he does lose that position and to make contact around the first corner, and Pace does come off worse than the Haas driver. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out there. And he will lose 2 positions now. So from 5th, he is now in 7th position. F1 Ferrari also making up the position past Kyle. That is unfortunate for Pace, keeping his nose in on the first corner, and both of them just collide as Pace tries to outbrake Natic, but they both come together, unfortunately. Pace coming off worse in this situation. But to be on the bright side, he is still in the points. He is not out of the points, luckily for him. Natic closing in on the Ferrari driver and gets past him, obviously because he has no wing either. Horseman picking up a 5-second time penalty for crossing the pit lane line. Natic now picks up his pace and gets on through in 4th place, as now the drivers go on to their final lap of the session. Looks like Max has had another beautiful race round at this track. Started first. Javier as well has had a nice race around here as well, even though he did jump the start and had to pit, obviously, to make a time penalty go away. Javier, unfortunately, but he does come home second if he can just keep that car out of the wall. Max makes his way around the few final remaining bends. Here we go now. Round the last 3 bends now. And down the start finish straight for Max here in Baku to finish in the podium positions, 1st place as he comes across the line. There it is, folks. Max with a 5-second time penalty as well, unserved in the pit lane, but he does come home 1st place. Javier comes across the line in 2nd place, also unserved penalty as well, so he does pick up another 5-second time penalty. Ero F2 comes home in 3rd place. Yes, comes home in 3rd place, making sure that no positions swap. There's your front 3 there. Natic coming home in 4th place. A 3-car battle for the last, for 5th position there, by the looks of it. Pace picking up 5th position, then GN followed by Ferrari, then F1 Ferrari comes home in 8th place. As Max steps on the podium yet again, the Mercedes driver, Max, picks up that 25 points. It's another beautiful race. That's what Max does. Oh. So there it is, folks. Max first position, Javier V2 in third to round off the top three. Then Natic, Sev, GN, this Ferrari driver, I can't pronounce his name, I'm sorry. F1 Ferrari comes home in 8th, Kyle in 9th, and then to round off the points positions, Horseman in 10th position. Unfortunately for all these other drivers, apart from Skull, obviously he does bring the car home, unfortunately, but he wasn't in there. For all the other drivers, from OTIP, Chris, and all these up into 12th position, sorry, unfortunately do not finish this race. There wasn't that many penalties either. And that's it, folks. I have been your commentator, Liam. Thanks for joining me. There will be a race tomorrow as well at the F1 race around Baku as well, so at the same time, 6 o'clock start. Please join us there, as you'll find myself and probably some familiar names as well. But for now, farewell, goodbye.